And welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my high-end Dollar Tree Farmhouse DIYs video. I am going to make 3 DIYs today using about probably 95% Dollar Tree items. So let's just jump right into the video into DIY number 1. Now I'm going to make this picture here that I have seen so many people making, and of course my favorite is my beautiful friend Melissa over at All Things Crafty. I want to say she used 6 of these frames, but I'm just going to use 4, and I'm going to go in and remove the staples and remove the canvas. Now I personally save my canvases to use for projects later, but it's up to you. Save it, throw it away, do whatever you want to do with it, but I like to save mine. So once I got all of the canvas is removed, look at this humongous bottle of Loctite wood glue. I got that from the Dollar Tree. I've never seen it there before, haven't seen it since, and that was literally the only bottle that I found. So I grabbed it, and I'm glad I did because it worked beautifully on these frames holding them together. Now I knew that I was doing this kind of late at night, so I didn't bother using any other like hot glue or anything because I just clamped them down, went to bed, and let them dry. Now I'm going to go in with these big popsicle sticks that you can get from Walmart or Home Depot or Amazon or anywhere really. And we're going to glue it down to the back to sort of firm up that frame. That just really helps give your frame a lot more stability in the end and kind of hold everything together. So once we get everything glued down, I did use hot glue and the Loctite wood glue on the popsicle sticks just to give it like that instant hold. Now I'm going to go in with my Antique Wax by Waverly and just give the frame a really good heavy coat of wax. But the way those frames are, it kind of soaks it in, so there is no like wiping it back off. Now I'm just using my canvas to sort of find my middle of my tiles, and I'm just going to paint the middle of the tile because there's no sense in wasting all of that paint when I know I'm going to cut it off and throw the other part away, you know what I mean? So once I got all 4 of my tiles painted, then I went in with the antique wax and distressed it down. Now I have never seen these particular tiles at my Dollar Tree, and I don't know why in the world I didn't get more than 4. Like, I feel so dumb because, of course, you go back the next day and they're all gone because they've never been at my store before. But anyway, at least I got to do this particular picture, but I still am on the hunt for more of these. But anyway, once I got everything all painted and distressed and set them aside and let them dry, then I went in and put it under my frame and sort of like, used the frame itself to center where I wanted to cut. And then I just marked it off and made myself a template and then used that one to cut out the other 3 tiles. Then it was as easy as going in and gluing them to the back of my frame. Now this time I used my regular hot glue gun by Ryobi because that thing, y'all, gets so doggone screaming hot that it literally, that glue against that plastic melts together and almost becomes one with that wood. So it's not coming off. It's not going to gap. Like, it was perfect. I'm so glad I thought to use that particular hot glue because, I'm so stuck on the wood glue sticks that I don't hardly ever pull this glue gun out anymore. But I'm glad I did because it worked perfectly. Now, I did use an old sawtooth hanger and put it on the back after I took some of that craft paper and covered the back. I didn't show you that because, you've probably seen that done 10,000 times. But I covered the back in craft paper, added the sawtooth hanger, and then flipped it over and added white Waverly chalk paint to just distress it down really good. And once I did that, I was done. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to tell you something. I just wanted to thank everybody for all of the love and the support and the prayers that you guys have sent me. Oh, wait, let me stop that and tell you about this. I forgot about this part. These little metal lace pieces right here come from the Dollar Tree. And I wanted so bad to add this to my frame, but the glue would not take, or the metal would not take the glue. It wouldn't take hot glue. It wouldn't take wood glue. It wouldn't take any kind of glue. And I couldn't find my staple gun because my husband is building me a shop right now, and I don't know where my stuff is at. It's just in a bunch of buckets out there. But anyway, I did want you to see that this is an option, but I nixed that because I couldn't get it to stay down. But anyway, back to me thanking everybody. I just really, 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 really appreciate all the love and prayers from me getting sick last week and ended up in the hospital with a very, very, very scary thing that happened with my heart. I'm not going to go into what happened, but it was very scary and it was life-threatening. But you know what? God is not ready to take me yet. So I'm still here and I'm doing wonderful. I feel great and back to normal. But look at this frame, y'all. Look how beautiful this turned out. Now I can see why everybody's doing it, because it was so stinking easy and turned out absolutely gorgeous. Now this wreath that I have here, I bought back at Christmas time at Kirkland's and didn't use it. So I pulled it out of my stash and hung it on the picture, and it was perfect for this frame. Look at how beautiful this thing turned out. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about my version of this beautiful farmhouse picture. I love, love, love it. It's got to be one of the favorite things that I've ever done. Now let's get into DIY number 2. I am going to make this old-fashioned scale using Dollar Tree products. Now, I bought a cake pan and a pie pan and a hanger that you can get from the seasonal section in the Dollar Tree. And I'm laughing because you can see the difference in the cake pan and the pie pan, right? Well, when I got back home, I don't know what I did with my cake pan. I still haven't found that cake pan. I have no idea where it went. So I just pulled an old cake pan out of my cabinet that I've had for probably 30 years and just used it. And I still have not found that cake pan, but it was on my receipt, so I know I bought it. But anyway, I got a phone call and did something I hadn't done in a long time. I forgot to turn my phone back on when I was painting. So the only thing you missed out was seeing me paint the first, like the tops of, excuse me, these pans and the white portion of the chain. But anyway, it's not a big deal. You didn't really miss anything because you see me painting it now. But I did give it 2 coats of white Waverly chalk paint and let it dry, set it aside and let it dry. Now, when I did the chain, you didn't get to see it because I forgot to turn it on, but I just took the chain and laid it on a piece of plastic that I was going to throw away, and I just sort of daubed it or stippled it or whatever you want to call it all over. Like I didn't really paint it. I just sort of made sure that I had that white paint, kind of a distressed coat all over that metal hanger. But, once I got both of these painted in the white Waverly chalk paint with 2 coats of the paint, I Googled what was it? Old-fashioned frames weight scales, something like that. Anyway, I'll put the description down below to get this picture. This was one of the pictures I found, and it is beautiful. But dang it, I was almost out of ink, and look, it messed it up. It gave it this weird funky color, and I was so aggravated. But I wanted to finish this today. I didn't want to wait to order some ink and wait for it to come in and all of that. So I just took my Mod Podged it down, and then once I Mod Podged it to it, then I went over the top again to seal it in. Then I took my Waverly wax and distressed it down, and then I'm going to take the black chalk paint And it's going to look disgusting. It's going to look hideous when you see what I'm doing. But there's a method to my madness. Just hang in there and watch what I end up doing. So I just sort of like go crazy with daubing and splashing and splashing, or whatever you want to call it, this antique wax and the chalk paint all over it, and it looks disgusting. It's so ugly, and it looks like I have no idea what I'm doing. This is how I painted the chain, and I did do it with the brown and the black, and this is that little chalkboard paint that I am obsessed with from the Dollar Tree. But watch, you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. You can't really tell on this one how ugly it is, but watch, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, now here you can see it. Look at that. It looks like a little kid just came in and just kind of was like, oh, let me just throw some paint on here. But, like I said, there was a reason I done it like that. Once I put it on there, I let it dry, and then I took my white Waverly chalk paint and I went back over it with another complete coat. But what it done is it made it look like rust and just yuckiness trying to come through my paint, like it was really, really old and distressed. And, you know, I've seen people use cinnamon and this, that, and the other. And I just had this idea to sort of do that and see if that paint sort of like soaked through and came through, and it worked. So I was glad that I gave it a try because I love the way it turned out. In the end, it looks really, really old and distressed. Now, I'm going to try to put my chain on. You'll see why I'm laughing in a minute. Because I was just going to eyeball it and drill my holes. Well, my husband happened to be coming up from work and saw what I was doing. He said, well, you know, that's a blah, blah, blah pen, and you got to do... He's so precise about everything. He said, measure it. So I grabbed my measuring tape and I start trying to measure around it. And he's just standing there scratching his head laughing at me. And he even offered a hand to help me try to measure it around. And he's like, I said, why are you laughing? He said, let me show you something. So he lays it down and he marks it, right? And then he figures out that it's 30 inches round. And then he keeps it down there. He makes his first little mark, and then he goes to 10 inches, marks it again, 20 inches, marks it again. Here I'm a idiot trying to wrap it around the pan to measure it. And like I said, he even humored me for a minute and tried to help me get it around. And he's like, just move. just move and let me show you how to do it. So anyway, you see what he's doing here. He's literally doing it the genius way, or the smart way, or the right way, whatever you want to call it. And it worked. And it gave me very precise 10 inches in between each one. So I was able to go in and drill my holes where they needed to be so that it was even. So then I started drilling the holes like where you see me drilling them at now. And he's like, no, don't drill it there. Drill it towards the back. And I'm like, this is the back. Like, what are you talking about? And if I should have listened to him, because he's always right when it comes to stuff like this. So I ended up having to drill 2 more holes, but in the end, it worked out. Now, this is an old windmill that I had that has been hanging there broke forever and ever. And I finally took it down to steal this little hook off of it and finally threw it away after, good Lord, probably 5 years of hanging on my porch with no chimes from the bottom of it. Who else does that? But anyway, I got everything hung together, and once I got all of my stuff hung on there, it was done, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. Now, I still wish that the front of mine would have been just black and white, because that would have made a humongous difference in the way that it turned out. But when I get my ink in, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to do it again. But I had to get a video out for you guys for today. But even though it's sort of a wonky color, I still like the way it turned out. It almost makes it look even older and more distressed. But I still believe just black and just white would have made it just absolutely perfect. So let me know in the comments what you think about the way my little faux weight scale turned out. I think it's pretty good. So now let's get into DIY number 3. This is just an easy little DIY that I'm going to do. I had a couple of these left over because I'm eventually going to make me another lantern out of these little picture things here that you can get from the Dollar Tree. But for now, I just grabbed one, gave it a really good, I think I gave it 2 coats actually of the white Waverly chalk paint. And I think I like this because of the design. Like, what is that? It's not an octagon, hexagon, or whatever it's called. Anyway, I just liked the shape of it. So I gave it those 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint, set it aside, let it dry, and then I had the last of my little half beads. I've got some on the way that I ordered from Temu, and I just had a few of these left. So I just decided to go in and add them to the side of it, because when me and my husband were on vacation a couple of weeks ago, I found the letter C, because our last name starts with a C, and it had like these little half beads, and you'll see it in just a minute. And I just wanted a little something to put in front of it to sort of match with the little half bead theme, if that makes any sense. You'll see it in a few minutes to understand where I'm going with this whole thing. Anyway, I take my same Waverly wax and go over everything just to distress it down. Now, this is another rub-on that my sweet friend Michelle sent me in that pile of rub-on transfers that she sent me. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. I have never seen this one before, and I've been looking for another one since she sent it. Still haven't found one. But anyway, I absolutely love it, and it makes this tray perfect. Like, it was exactly what this tray needed to just make it beautiful. So I sort of trimmed it out, put it down in there, and just rubbed it on, which, if you've ever used these Dollar Tree rub-on transfers, they are literally the easiest thing in the world to rub on and place on whatever you're using. Now, I didn't show it here, but I did go back in with my polyurethane that Weather Wash sent me a couple weeks ago, and I did just give it a really good seal. You can also use Mod Podge and seal it in, or whatever you like to use for sealing your work in. A lot of people, most people that I know, like to use the Mod Podge, but I'm so in love with that Weather Wash satin polyurethane. It dries so quick, and it's water-based, so it cleans up easy. I don't know, I love it. Like I said, I'm not making anything off of showing y'all their products or talking about their products, but I love it. Anyway, these little feet here I got off of Amazon. I will link them below, and I'm just going to add them on to finish it up, and look at how cute that turned out. I love this. I think it's beautiful. Now, you see that C right there? I hope you can see the whole thing in just a minute. Anyway, but look at those little feet. I wasn't sure whether to put 4 or 6, but because it had, 6 little corners, I went ahead and went with the 6. And I'm glad I did, because I think it would have looked weird with just 4. There's the little C that I found. Believe it or not, I found it at a Dollar General in my husband's hometown when we went back there. And I'm glad that I picked it up, because now he's got something that, he has from back home. But anyway, let's get into my final reveal. I sure hope you have loved all 3 of my DIYs that I brought you today. I know DIY number 1 especially is my absolute favorite, and I would probably put it in the top 5 of my favorite DIYs. This one, again, I feel like had I had the proper ink, that would have been a completely different look. But, like I said, I needed to get a video out, and I didn't have time to wait for the ink, but it's still cute. It's still cute. I just, I hate it when I do something and I'm not 100% happy with it. And I really hate it when I have to bring it to you and I'm not 100% happy with it, because I know I can do better. So give me a little bit of grace for this video on that one project. Look at that, y'all. I love that so much. And, I said it earlier in the video, but I do want to say it again. Thank you for all the prayers and the concern and the comments and, reaching out and talking to my husband and sending the beautiful prayers and love and light and all of the other things that you guys sent while I was down. But, like I said earlier, I'm doing wonderful. I actually feel 100%. I feel great. My body was extremely sore for several days from getting hit with that defibrillator 3 times. But it just really, really hurts. And even though I didn't feel it because I was out, I wasn't even like breathing or whatever, but there's after effects, like what it does to your body. It's bad, but super duper bruised up and just really, really sore. But all that's gone. There's still some bruising, but other than that, I'm great. I'm back to normal and ready to rock and roll with some more DIYs for you next week. So if for some weird reason you've never been to my channel before, welcome to Monner's Market. My name's Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner. And if you have never joined us in the live chat during the premiere, come on and join us. We love chit-chatting. We love talking. And I'm sorry I missed last week, but I'm here this week. Now, I want to end this video by showing you something that I should have showed you a couple of weeks ago when FlexiSpot sent me my desk. I forgot to put in my video and show you where it goes up and down. And I know you're like, who cares? It's over or whatever, but it's such a cool desk. And the fact that it goes up and down has been so helpful to me with my back, because I cannot sit for a long period of time because I've got, my hip replacements, I've got metal in my back. And the fact that I can stand while I'm crafting and keep going makes it to where I can continue to craft and work a full-time job. So I wanted to throw this in there and show you how it goes up and down. It is so smooth, so amazing. And again, I highly, highly, highly recommend this desk. So thank you for coming. I will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. with another video. Actually, I'll be back on the 20th with another video for my OG group. But I'll see you on the 20th. I think it's at 3 o'clock. And for now, for this video, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.